Hi. All right, today I want to talk about a subject that's kind of a little woo-woo, but when you're on a healing journey, you will just about do anything. So maybe you think this is a little woo-woo, but I'd like to talk about it because I think it's super important, and that is dream work. So if you've been around the block in healing, you like science, you like things concrete, you like studies, you like diet, you like protocols, you like supplements, you like gadgets and gizmos and biohacking techniques and the latest, greatest science. And I get that because I've done all of it, so much. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars doing all of it. And when you realize that that's not going to work for you, you need to look inside and try to unravel why you're sick, the reasons for your sickness, what you could possibly be getting out of it, your personality, what you're repressing, your feelings, your angers, your hurts, your emotions, your guilt, your shame, all of the work, the inner work that most people, even if they are doing the physical work, need to do the inner work for real healing to take place. And so dream work can be an important part of that. So we all know that when we're meditating, we sit down and we're asking the subconscious, we're meditating on a problem, a subject, we're walking, we're thinking about it, we're having this walking meditation, or maybe we're sitting in silence and we are thinking about something. We're sort of using our meditation skills to get into the deepest subconscious levels of ourselves, and we're doing our inner voice work and listening to our inner voice and our intuitions and trying to make sense of things, and see where we're at and what we think and what's truth for us, and to access those answers deep within. So if you've already been doing that, then this isn't such a stretch. And dreams, although they can seem woo-woo and just random bits of information flying all over the place, they can be very, very powerful messengers and pieces of information from your subconscious mind. Because as you're sleeping, your mind literally is downloading bits of information that happened in your lifetime, bits of information, memories, things that happened that day, all kinds of information that has been in your past, present, future, worries, thoughts, interactions, whatever's happened, and your brain downloads and stores what's necessary. It gets rid of stuff that isn't. It tries to make sense of certain things. It stores it. It does things with it. But the key is, it's your subconscious. This is the time when your subconscious can speak freely, because the conscious mind isn't there to interrupt it. And so if we listen to our dreams, we can find these nuggets of truth and your inner voice, or a message, or a theme, or these little nuggets of gold, right? That you could maybe not even access when you're meditating or when you're trying to listen to your inner voice. It's just these random pieces of gold that pop up, that if we listen to them, if we pay attention, they can tell us how to heal. They can tell us what we're missing. They can point us in the right direction. They can show us when we're getting off path. They can show us fears that we have and things that are looming. Okay, so how do we interpret our dreams? What do we do? Okay, so when we're interpreting our dreams, or the very, very first thing that you need to do is get a notebook or a pad of paper and a pen and keep it right beside your bed, because scrolling down your dreams while you're in the bed, before you've even gotten your feet up out of the bed, is very important, because your subconscious mind is still, you're kind of in that state between sleep and awake, and that's when you can have access to it. And as soon as your feet hit the floor and you start to become part of the conscious world, the dreams slip away. They slip and they fall farther and farther away from you. So we want to keep the pen and the paper handy. That's really the key to this, is that. So the second thing that you need to do is ask yourself a question before you go to bed. Kind of like meditation, we're posing a question to our subconscious, to our deepest self, to us, to our soul, right? And so the question that I like to ask, and the question that I think that is best served that you ask for healing, is what is the source of my illness and how can I eliminate it? What is the source of my pain and how can I eliminate it? What is the source of my suffering and how can I eliminate it? What is the source of my symptoms and how can I eliminate them? What is the source of my illness and how can I eliminate it? So what is the source of the biggest problem that you're dealing with and how can you eliminate that, right? So we want to ask how to heal, right? How can we heal? But what is our biggest source of this illness? The biggest source, the biggest problem that is blocking us, where is it coming from? And you might, have dreams that reveals the exact source. Like, it's, you might have dreams about food all night and you're like, oh, the light bulb goes on. It's definitely food sensitivities or something. But you might have random just dreams about people and feelings and emotions and things that don't make sense. And you're like, oh, how do I interpret this? So the very first thing to do is after you've asked your question, you need to think about that question and keep downloading that question to your brain. So when you lay down to bed, you kind of do a meditation where you ask yourself this question over and over and over in a meditative way as you're falling asleep. So that's the best, that 5, 10, 15 minutes before you fall asleep that you're lying in bed, you're going to continue to ask your soul this question. And to tell it, I'm going to listen in my dreams tonight. I'm going to wait for you to speak to me. I'm going to write it down and I'm going to believe what you tell me. So it's very important that your subconscious believes that you want its help and that you will listen to the information that it's giving you. So once you're doing that as you're falling asleep, when you wake up, you can put sticky notes in your bathroom or sticky note beside your nightside table that when you wake up, was I having a dream? Am I dreaming? What's my dream? You want to think about whether or not you were dreaming straight away. If you have to get up to go pee, the first sticky note that you should see was I dreaming? And just think, just let your mind just kind of wander. And if you get any bit of information, start there. Just start writing it down. And suddenly, sometimes the entire dream will come to you. Sometimes you may just get pieces and fragments. Write them down. And then it will come to you 5 minutes from now. You'll be like, oh, I remember the dream. You start to write it down. Write any bits of information that seem or don't seem relevant. So you may get stuck on a certain point, but try to be broad. Try to write it down as you remember it. So come here. It's okay. You're fine. Come here. Come here. Come here, pup. Come on. Oh, my dog wants to bark out the window. Anyways, okay. So you want to try to remember this dream and to write down all the important details. So if an animal, speaking of my animal, I'm just going to grab her. But if an animal, whoa, you're okay. An animal visits you in the sleep, it could be a symbol, a color, numbers are important, names, colors, names, numbers, strangers, faces, jobs, occupations, feelings. How you felt in a dream. Were you scared? Were you sad? Did you feel shame? It's very important to note how the dream made you feel. Did you feel outcast? Did you feel abandoned? Did you feel shame? Did you feel grief? Did you feel scared, terror, fear? What were you feeling? What is the emotion attached to the dream? So it's often not as important what the dream says, but what the emotion attached to the dream is. And so it's another clue, like, what are your emotions? What are the deepest emotions that you need to do work around? You can often find them in dreams. If you're always having dreams that are scary or terrifying, then you need to do a lot of journaling and meditating on fear. What are you afraid of in your life? Where's the fear coming from? If you often feel outcast or abandoned in your dreams, who do you feel abandoned by in real life? Where's the feelings of abandonment coming from? So it's often feelings that we're telling all these random stories and they don't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense and it's not giving you a clear message, then what was the feeling that you were having when you were having this dream? Was it stressful? Was it frustrating? Were you angry? What was the feeling behind the dream if you can't make sense of the dream? But often symbols, people, colors, animals, Often the dream will tell a story. Often, sometimes the character is you in many different forms. So, like an important messenger may come to the door, that might be you. A random stranger might say something to you, that might also be you. So, you could be more than one person in your dream. You could be the messenger, you could be the stranger, you could be, if you're a mediator or a person in the dream, you could be more than one character in the dream. You could be here, but you could also be the visitors or the people telling you or the random thing. Other people, if you're having a dream about two other people or something happening with other people, and you're standing back watching, or you're somehow not involved in the action and you're off to the side, you could actually be those other characters in the dream. So just because the dream is about your cousin and her boyfriend deciding whether they're going to get divorced or not, and you are watching this whole thing play out where they're having an argument and blah blah blah, and you're not even involved in the dream. The dream could be about you and your husband, your partner, and you're just not putting yourself in that situation. You're too afraid, maybe even subconsciously, to go there. So your dream interpreted it as two different people. So watch key other characters in your dreams. Are they you? Watch strangers or messengers of some sort. Are they you? Is it your subconscious telling you this? Watch villains and the scary people. Is it you? Is it you? Is it representing your biggest fear in life? Is it showing you, like, do you need to stand up to this? Do you need to submit to that? Do you need to face it? What is the actual villain? Who is the actual villain? Can they be loved? Can they be soothed? Are they you? So you need to ask yourself, it's sort of, I'm getting woo-woo and I'm getting random here, but dreams often don't always make sense, and we need to interpret them as you in all different facets, you in all different parts. Why are you thinking about all these things that seem not to make sense, and they're about someone else, or it's about these random things, or this piece of dream blends into this totally different else dream, and then it goes into a different dream, and it makes no sense, it has no message. Maybe it has no message, but maybe if you start to think about it, write it down, you can circle key characters, you can highlight things that seem out of the ordinary or odd or strange or like they have meaning. And there's a lot of different ways. I mean, I'm no expert in interpreting dreams. You can go online, there's tons of like tools, what this means, what that means, what this symbol means, what that symbol means. Like I don't know, but I do know that it's your subconscious powerfully trying to tell you and give you clues. And if you ask it specifically before you go to bed, what is the source of my discomfort? What's the source of my suffering? What is the source of my illness? What is the source of my pain? Right? And you're asking it, and then you get these dreams. Interpret it through the lens of that question. What does this mean? Where is the source? What is the source? What is the information that this dream is trying to give me about the source of my illness, about the source of my suffering? And I also asked it, and how do I eliminate it? How do I heal it? How do I make it better? So it might also be giving you clues what to do next, what you need to focus on, the emotions you need to focus on, the people, the bridges you need to build, the relationships you need to fix, the fears you need to face, right? The conversations you need to have. So it could be leading you also to the solution, and we need to take it seriously, although it can seem random and woo-woo. It's your subconscious talking directly to you, unfiltered. If we can only stop, notice, listen, take the information, it can be one of the most actual powerful sources of healing that you have available to you, because you're by stepping the filter. Your conscious brain, when you're sitting down to meditate, gets in the way. And when you're trying to listen to your voice, your conscious brain can get in the way. And the random chatter starts, all this monkey mind chatter starts. And so even though the dreams may seem weird and random and like they have nothing to do with that question, it might just suddenly dawn on you like, oh, You know, it's all about relationships, or it's about the feeling that I have with so and so. It's about myself. I don't feel confident. It's about my own fears and limitations. It's about me needing to make this change in my life. It's about me feeling outcast. It's about me totally being scared of everything and terrified to live life and take action and stand on my own 2 feet. So we can often get these clues, and it's really important to start. So if you're not doing dream work yet, but you are meditating and trying to listen to your inner voice, add dream work. It's really important, and it can be helpful. Even though it seems woo-woo, it can be powerful if you allow it to. And then the third part of this is we have the pen and paper, we ask the question before we go to bed, we write it down, we try to analyze it with our mind, with our crazy mind, and try to pull it together and figure it out. And we've asked what feelings was I feeling, what feelings are attached to this dream, also very important. And then the final step is taking action. Now that we have this information, we need to take action. We can't just sit back and say, well, I feel that I'm afraid of this. I can see that now. And then just like let that be the end of it. No, now we need to face our fears in real life. Or if you sense that you're feeling outcasted by somebody, or you're feeling like a relationship is in turmoil, it's not enough just to realize that and be like, okay, now we need to take action. We need to cut that person out of our life, or we need to mend the relationship with that person. We need to take action maybe we need to do a lot of forgiveness work. Maybe we need to journal about that topic, journal about that person, journal until we feel right. We need to go back. We need to access memories of that person. We need to go back and reparent ourselves. We need to make things right around whatever conclusions that we're coming to about our dreams. We need to do work around that, take action around that, journal around that, reparent ourselves around it, take some sort of action or make a change in life, push ourselves, do something different, have a conversation. Whatever it is, you do also need to take some action, and then you will find that your subconscious brain will be more happy to continue to give you stronger messages, to give you that information, to be more specific, to make have your dreams make more sense and be more powerful, because it knows you're listening, and then you're interpreting, and that you're trying, you're actually taking action, you're trusting that inner voice, that guidance, and your dreams will thank you. Your subconscious will thank you with more and relevant pieces of information that you can use to literally heal yourself. So I hope this has been helpful, and it hasn't, tainted you on this channel. I know it's kind of a weird thing. It is not scientifically based, but a lot of this inner work isn't. But your mind has the answers. You already have the answers. It's about accessing them. So dreams are a good place to get information, and it really is you talking to you on a subconscious level, and you being able to listen, understand, and take action, soothe yourself, help yourself, and know that you're okay, know that you're safe, know that you're gonna be okay. So these are all important, and I hope that this has helped or given you something new to try.